Now this is another area where I'm actually going to have to take a bit more metal than I really wanted to. The holes are here, and it's a thin area here. Another hole here, a little bit of thinning around where that texture mark is. This one is a long, thin area here where the rust has almost gone right through. It's only about 1/4 of an inch wide, but it goes from there to there. And then there's another piece here about probably 3/8 of an inch round. Once again is thinned right through. Now this is right on the edge of where the air duct was welded, so just on the edge of the air duct flange. So rather than cut individual pieces, I'm going to take a section basically all around there and do it in one piece, similar to what I've done down on this one. Rather than do little patches, I'll just do the one large area. So I'll try and keep it as small as I can, but I'll just work out now where I'm going to actually make the cut. Now this repair section gets rid of all of those rust holes and a little bit more. I've just been trying to fit the repair piece. Almost there. Just got a little bit more filing to do. So I'll put a bit of texture on there to mark where I've got to file that off. And when I've done that, I'll tack that in place. So it's, as I say, it gets rid of all of those rusted sections. And this is where the flange of the air duct comes across, so quite an important piece. This repair section is now in place. Most of the tacks are in position. A few more to do, and a little bit of aligning the panels in some of these areas. Not much. And then I'll start to seam weld this in. It's a little bit awkward to do in the middle of a panel. It's hard to get clamps in, but it's gone in reasonably well so far. I've now finished the welding on this part of the panel. Smaller section there, the larger section here, and there's just the tip of that I had to cut off and weld a new piece in. I've got most of the distortion out. What I'll do is a little bit more work on that. It's a little bit warped because of this one, not much. And when I've got the panel straightened, and I'll start cleaning up these welds. I haven't cleaned that one up. I'm starting to get a little bit of surface rust because of humidity, so I want to get this all cleaned up and sealed. But there's been a lot of welding on this, but now it's quite a solid panel. I've just been cleaning up the welds and straightening the panel. What I'm doing now is to fit it to the air duct, just clamping it, just to see how it fits, and also to judge the shape. So I've just clamped it. I may even put a few Tek screws in just to hold it in a more solid position. The problem I've found at this stage is that this fold isn't deep enough, so I've got to bend that a bit more. And also there's a little bit of dishing in the panel there, so I've got to address that as well. It's interesting when you clamp it up, the shape of the panel actually changes a bit, because it's a very flexible panel at the front end. So that's why I've clamped it on, just to see what difference it makes. Now I'm lining the duct up on the old weld marks underneath, so that's working out okay at this stage. But as I say, there's just a little bit of a bow in the front here which I've got to address, and the fold, I need to make it a little steeper so it meets up with the shape of the duct on the other side. So a little bit of work to do on that as well. So there's a lot of fitting on this one. It's a much bigger panel, and it's got lots of bends and so on that the other side actually doesn't have. So it's just a little more awkward to fit. But anyway, just a case of working at it and solving each problem as it comes up. Repairs of this panel are now complete. Sorry for the copper colour. I changed undercoat cans, spray cans, and this one happens to be a copper rich one. The only reason I've sprayed that is that we're having a little bit of a damp start to spring, and the corrosion comes up, particularly around the welds. So I've just hit that to try and stop that. The rest of the panel's been coated with phosphoric acid, so that's not a problem. But particularly the welds, I don't know why, but anyway, it's given me a multicolour panel. The panel is now straight. It has some minor imperfections. Not worried about that at this stage. The panel, as I say, has been straightened out. There was a problem in here where the panel was actually obviously damaged. It was bent into a U shape, so I've had to spend a bit of time getting that out. It's right now. That's all the right angle. I had to change the angle and straighten this using a straight edge as a guide, so that's right. A little dip in the panel I had on this end, that's now been resolved. I've been through all the welds and ground them down so they're flat. Maybe a little bit of filling necessary. Not worried about that. That's not really an issue. This is an area where, I mean, if you get down your hands and knees, I'm sure you can stick your head in the mouth of the bonnet and see. But I will address that. At this stage, the aim was to get the rust out, to get the panel straight, and then work on the duct. So the duct is the next one to be looked at, and I'll then cut the rust out of that. Once I've got the duct complete, I'll join the two panels with Tech screws and once again make sure the fit is right. I'll leave the Tech screws as I did with the other side, and I'll wait until I assemble the bonnet to make sure each of the components assemble correctly. So I won't, as I said with the other side, I won't weld the duct at this stage. So anyway, the duct's still got repairs to be done. This is now complete. I'm happy with that. A lot of rust taken out of this, but it's worked out well. I haven't put the holes in the bottom of the panel here yet. That's where the lower air duct panel goes. I'll wait until I've got the panels assembled and aligned within the bonnet assembly before I drill the hole. So I'll actually be drilling the holes where the duct sits. So that's why that hasn't been drilled at this stage. Anyway, I'll now move on to the air duct. Now this is the air duct cleaned up after the vinegar. It's come up quite nice. The rust is all gone. What it's done, of course, is to highlight where the damage is, and what I'll need to do is to cut a number of pieces out of this. The what they call the trumpet end, this bit here, it's rusted in there, so whether you can see that, there's a hole right through, so I'm going to have to cut a section out of there to repair that. That's not so bad. The worst piece is up along here. Now you probably can't see any rust holes. I can, of course. A few rust holes around here, but this metal, various sections along here, probably from there to there, feel thin. Now I've got to go along and test that, but there's a good chance that I'll have to take some sections out of here. Certainly along the flange I'm going to have to make repairs, but in around here, as I say, it just feels thin, and I'll go through that with a probe and probably a light hammer and just see how thin that is. So along here I'm going to have to do some rust repairs. So that's the major pieces. Up on the end section here, once again, whether you can see it, there is not sure whether that's a split. I'll have to do a bit of research on that. Don't know why it would be cut back that far. It looks like it's a split, so I may have to re-weld that. And on the other side there's a smaller one, so I'm pretty sure these are splits. I can't see any reason why they would be made like that, so I'll probably have to address that as well. So all in all, it cleaned up well, but it's now a case of going through and identifying the sections that are going to have to be cut out. So I'd say feels bad around here, so around there, and there could be an area up in here too. So anyway, a little bit of time to search that out, but that needs to be repaired. All in all, it's not a bad shape. It's not damaged in any way. It's just rust. So I need to put that on the list for more repairs. This area only had a piece of rust along the edge of the seam of the two panels. It also had a bulge of rust under the panel itself. The other problem with this area was that the flange just on this end, you can just see it here, on the end of that, was pretty well useless after I drilled the spot weld out. So rather than repair the flange, I've just taken the whole piece out. So it's a lot more metal than I needed to take, but it just makes it a lot easier. I get to repair the the edge of the flange as well as the rust at the same time. So I'll just knock up a repair section. That shouldn't take long, and I'll start tacking it in position. This repair is now complete. The welding's done, it's been cleaned up, and just put a bit of undercoat on it to seal it. So I'll now move on to the other ones. So they will be a little bit more difficult than this. This was only a very small section, but I've managed to take all the rust out and actually put a bit of a new flange on the bottom there.